Welcome back, everybody, to another version of our Austin Crime Report. Just running down kind of what's going on in Austin since our last update, some case stuff, and then warrants, and we'll cover a few other just general safety tips. But as you will probably typically have, you've got me, and then you've got Tyler Latham, who's here, and then Christopher Irwin back behind the controls. So first thing that we do want to start with is anytime we're going to come up on a week where it coincides with the date that we lost an officer that was killed in the line of duty. We're going to highlight that just to make sure that we believe in always remembering those who did make the ultimate sacrifice in this profession. There have been a lot, and we've even had quite a few here in Austin for everything that we've dealt with. So this week we did want to honor and remember. This one comes back from February 25th, 1989 is when it was. And that was for senior police officer Robert Towns Martinez Jr. He was killed in the line of duty on February 25th, 1989. He was responding to a shots fired call when a vehicle pulled in front of him over off East 2nd and Chacon. He swerved to avoid hitting the vehicle and wound up striking a tree and wound up dying. So at the time of his death, he'd been with the department for about 4.5 years and is survived by his wife. So a very real situation that a lot of officers have been through, where you're responding, you're going hot to a call, and someone pulls in front of you, or something else tragic happens, and an officer doesn't want to hit an innocent person while we're responding to these calls, and so you swerve, and in this case he wound up hitting a tree. So things that we never want to see, but do happen in our realities of the job. But we definitely want to make sure that we continue to remember them and all of their sacrifice. So that was, and he was, very, very early on. I mean, 4.5 years in, not very long. He's pretty new with the department.
And he comes from a family of dedicated public servants.
Mm-hmm.
His still got family that works here at the department. So grateful for their whole service, and it's a hard week for them.
Yeah,
as they remember the loss of their family member.
Yeah. So, and also a good reminder, and I'll just put the plug out there. We do please remember, we do have a foundation. The Austin Police Benevolent Foundation exists and is a 501c3 that supports families when they're going through these crises. It supports families when an officer is killed in the line of duty, when they're hurt, when they have to undergo a lot of care, or whatever needs may come up. So please, if you're able to, contribute to our the foundation, because they support officers, in particular their families as well, when we have officers who die in the line of duty. So apbfoundation.org is the website. It stands for the Austin Police Benevolent Foundation, but you can go there and you can contribute, so that way officer needs are met there. But kind of some things that are going on around the city, and it is from north to south. We are seeing is a lot of aggravated robbery activity. Now, some of them go back, but the first one we wanted to highlight was one that it did happen back on December 11th, but detectives are still trying to identify a suspect that was involved in an aggravated robbery. Happened at the 7-Eleven gas station that's over in the 3800 block of West Palmer Lane, 3801 West Palmer. Again, this one happened back on December 11th, but detectives are still working, trying to identify the suspect. So he's, we'll give you the description here in a second, but basically he went into the gas station, pulled out a gun, demanded money, and then some little cigarillos from the clerk, then took off. So he's last seen as a black male, heavy build. He's approximately 6 feet tall, and he was last seen wearing a gray hoodie with like a graphic design that has a stylized face on it, black backpack, blue jeans that are faded and torn, and then dark shoes. So we'll give you all the details at the end as to how to give us a tip or to help if you have any information. Again, this is back from December 11th. Happened at the 7-Eleven over at 3801 West Palmer Lane. That was a first ag robbery. Second one that they're working on, that's kind of north central area, happened back on January 31st in the evening in the 1500 block of East Anderson Lane. And this is one where they're, again, trying to identify a suspect, aggravated robbery yet again, that occurred in the 1500 block of East Anderson. And it was where a victim had reported that he had property stolen out of his vehicle, and then he had tracked his items over to this location over in East Anderson Lane, where they located the suspect and his vehicle. And the victim used his car as an attempt to block the suspect in from fleeing, but then the suspect still wound up leaving the scene. So victim wasn't hurt or anything, but they're still trying to identify the suspect that was involved. Obviously, kind of borderline trying to run somebody over is a problem. So if you have any information on that one, suspect is a whiter Hispanic male in this one. He's 20 to 30 years old, brown hair. He's got a thin build and like stubble facial hair, and was wearing a black shirt, black pants, black stocking cap, black gloves, and has tattoos on both arms. Oh. And then coming a couple ones that happened this month. One down south is another robbery. And this one happened in the 500 block of West William Cannon at the Metro PCS by T-Mobile. And it happened afternoon, so February 7th, around 4 o'clock is when the suspect went into the Metro PCS, and he requested information about Bluetooth speakers. And some of the employees there actually happened to recognize him because he'd shoplifted Bluetooth speakers before, just like a couple months earlier from the exact same place. And this time he again tried to steal numerous Bluetooth speakers, and he took a bunch of the display hangers, speakers from the wall display. And then when he discovered that an employee was standing between him and the front door, the suspect shoved the employee and struck her with the merchandise. Caused some minor injuries, but then he fled on foot and was seen running eastbound on William Cannon towards South 1st Street. So some of these stores can be pretty common spots for robberies to happen, break-ins to happen, these little mobile phone stores, cell phone stores. So for this one, if you're down south, again, over in the 500 block of William Cannon First, 35 area, then we're looking for a suspect who's a white male, 30 to 40 years of age. He's about 5'10". He's got a thin build, dirty blonde hair, blue eyes, and then has a beard, is possibly homeless in the area. And he was last seen wearing a green polo shirt, black baseball hat. And it's got a Puma logo on it. And then black pants, and was wearing a COVID mask and dark colored sneakers with white shoes. And then further north, up near Bartholomew District Park, this is one that happened just the other day. And February 23rd, this last Sunday, again in the evening around 6:30, over at Bartholomew Park is when there was a large planned community event was being held at the district park. But during the event, multiple unidentified males were involved in a physical disturbance that happened to the parking lot near the baseball field. And then shortly after the disturbance, gunshots were fired, and one victim was struck, and a bunch of vehicles were as well. So a victim was taken to the hospital with life-threatening injuries. Right now, it shows they've got several persons of interest that were gathered shortly before the gunshots began. A large crowd was present, obviously, during the shooting. So they are asking for detectives are asking for your help if you have any information, if you have videos, audio recordings, if you witnessed anything, if you talked to somebody that had information or saw what happened, please contact us for all of these incidents. If you have any information related to them, you can call Crime Stoppers. So Crime Stoppers, you can get a hold of them at 512-472-TIPS. It's 512-472-8477. Remember, Crime Stoppers gives up to $1,000 reward if you have information that leads to an arrest. For this one in particular, if you have anything related to the Bartholomew District Park shooting, you can contact directly if you want to. If you don't want to remain anonymous, if you're willing to identify yourself, you can contact our aggravated assault unit directly at 512-974-8566. And then for all the other robberies, there's a bunch of them. All the other robberies, you can get a hold of our robbery unit at 512-974-5092, 512-974-5092. On those, like just a couple quick things. If you're a business owner, some of the most important things for a detective to be able to follow up is either people who are good witnesses and provide good information and good cameras. Like if you have good high quality security cameras and good locations, looking outside the store, looking inside the store at the front door, something that's watching the parking lot that, they're not grainy. Because you always got to remember, like when we try to zoom in on things, because nothing's ever right in front of the camera.
Yeah.
When we try to zoom in on things, it's super grainy. It makes it hard to make out details. It makes it hard that if we do get a suspect to actually identify it. So high quality cameras are a huge win, both as kind of a deterrent if people see it, but then also in us being able to follow up. So,
and I'll say, like with people that are around, you may not be the person that's the victim of the crime, but it's important just in your everyday life to be paying attention to your surroundings,
Yep.
watching what you're doing, because sometimes you might just be a witness of an event. You may not have actually seen the event, but you realize that you were in that area at that time. And just by being able to pay attention, you might be able to provide some information, especially that big event. You may have just been taking pictures or video of your friends taking a selfie, but something in the background is there. So you may not think it's super important, but if you have something, get it to the department and let the detectives look at it. And you'll be surprised how much sometimes we can just find from the background of a video that gives us a little description on a subject, suspect, a car, whatever. So paying attention, just being there and present in what you're doing and remembering those things is very helpful.
Yep, for sure. For the Crime Stoppers Wanted Wednesday, the person highlighted is Christian Rivas Palacios, I think is how you say that. He's got an outstanding felony warrant for aggravated assault, which is very similar to the last one that we heard that happened at Bartholomew Park. It's kind of the same type of crime where it's someone who possibly was firing a gun or they caused serious bodily injury to someone. So a violent offense that this is related to. But there is a photo available on the Crime Stoppers website. But he's 23 years old, 5'10", 150 pounds. Again, Christian Palacios. And so if you can make a report to Crime Stoppers anonymously. Tips can lead to rewards. So please contact him if you know where he is or you've seen him about. Call, leave a tip, help us scoop this guy up so that way we don't have a violent criminal out there just wandering around. And again, it's 512-472-TIPS, TIPS, 8477 is the number. And then lastly, the thing we've been trying to do is we want to highlight a good employee of the week, a good officer, something that was going on that the department does put out frequently. But this week they were highlighting Cody Martin, who's an officer with our HOST team, which is our homeless outreach street team. He's been very proactive in trying to improve outreach for the team for HOST. And they actively seek out community members who are living on the streets in Austin, kind of learn the challenges that they face, and then their goal is to connect them to housing and then get them connected to other services. So Officer Martin's done a lot of good work, some of the admin stuff, just making things more efficient, but being dedicated and trying to streamline a lot of processes so that way we can connect more people to services as best we possibly can. And like I say, trying to keep things on track so that way services can improve. So often it is a thankless job, something that goes on in the behind the scenes that people don't see, but it's good work. It's good stuff. It can have an impact. He's one officer that's over there. So it's a lot of work. They're a small team, so they've got a lot of work to take on, but they're doing good stuff. So shout out to Officer Martin. Good dude, putting in a lot of good work. And yet again, just another example of everything the department doing, that they're trying to improve things around here, and officers are working hard doing good stuff. So,
yep.
Well
done. Well done, Officer Martin.
Yep, for sure. So, all right, that's all we've got for this go round. So as always, stay safe, stay alert, and stay tuned. We'll see you on the next one.